Day 2 of this attempted old Dodge resurrection, the old Ramcharger. And some of the backstory with this is it was parked because it would run, and it would run fine, and then I don't know if it would overheat, but the exhaust was getting super hot. It would stall randomly, and then it wouldn't start for a while, and then it would start up. First, I'm gonna check my timing and make sure that's all good. Check the timing chain and ignition timing, and give her a road test. Take her up to the bush maybe, see how the 4x4 works. All right, I got a game plan now. Let's make it work. All right, so far we've been pretty even at about 115 psi across 7 of the 8 cylinders. I'm checking the last one right now. So this is the moment of truth.
When performing a compression test, you want all the cylinders to be even, and you want the pressure to build quickly. If you have a cylinder with low compression and you add oil to the cylinder through the spark plug hole, if the compression raises, it's an indication that your rings are worn. If you have 2 cylinders that are beside each other that are both low and the rest are all good, then it's a good indication that you have a head gasket leak. Now in the case of this truck, it had sat so long, I had poured oil down each cylinder and turned the engine over by hand before I had started up the truck, and then the same day I ended up doing this compression test. So had the rings been worn, the oil that I poured down the cylinders could potentially cause a false reading on the test by increasing the compression in the cylinders with bad rings, because the oil helps seal the rings and causes the compression to go up a bit.
Now, let's turn this thing over. Starting to slow down. All right, let's see what this last cylinder's at. Yeah. 115 psi. Fuck yeah. That's 115 psi straight across the board. That's 115 psi on all cylinders. 1 or 2 cylinders were a little under, but above 110, so it's pretty even and good. So I'm gonna rebuild the carburetor and check the timing chain and go from there.
That sounds legit. Wouldn't that have just been great? But the reality of the situation is that the 2 cylinders with low compression were adjacent to each other. And if you remember what I said earlier, is if there's 2 low cylinders adjacent from each other, then it's a good indication that the head gasket is leaking. We're going to have to dig into her and find out what's causing the low compression on those 2 cylinders. If you want to find out why and watch the Teardown and Diagnostics, subscribe for the next video.
At least there's lots of room in this old girl.
Remove the rotor cap to check the timing chain.
Got the rotor here. Oh, ow. Rolling over my nuts. Okay, now we're gonna rotate this. See how much plays in it.
Rotate the crank until you're at top dead center, or at the point where you feel the most resistance. If you use the fan hub, you gotta make sure the belts aren't slipping and the crank is actually turning.
That's top dead center, it feels like. I'm gonna mark it right where it is.
Also, make sure you don't tighten or loosen the fan hub bolts.
Right there. I'm gonna mark the crank. Now, I'm gonna turn this until the rotor moves just a little bit.
Then you know the timing chain's loaded up on the one side. Now you rotate the crank in the up direction and you measure the distance the crank moves before the rotor moves. That distance is the slack you have in the timing chain. Any more than 5 degrees of the crank moving is too much play. The timing chain timed the crank to the cam, so obviously that needs to be in time. Otherwise the valves won't open in time, as opposed to where the pistons are in the cylinder. You can see here this crank has quite a bit of play before the rotor moves. This crank's moving about 10 to 20 degrees before the rotor moves, so this timing chain is definitely severely worn. A worn timing chain can cause all sorts of rough running issues with the vehicle, from bad mileage to overheating. Lots of people end up parking or selling a vehicle because of timing chain, because they're afraid to fix it and they don't want to pay the bill for somebody else to fix it. when in these old vehicles, they're relatively easy to repair anyway. So if you have a vehicle that has about 150 or 200,000 kilometers and you have to replace the water pump or reseal the front cover, you might as well just replace the timing chain while you're at it.
So to me it looks like we got some timing chain play, so I'm gonna replace the timing chain and reset the ignition timing and go from there with cleaning the carburetor. And then hopefully she'll be ready for the off-road. Right. I'm going to just start with draining the coolant. I'm going to use this snow shovel as a catch pan because, you know, it's a Canadian thing to do. But this snow shovel should work just fine. Pop off this bottom rad hose. Get the fan out of the way. Water pump, front cover, and then I'll have access to the timing chain. Take this handy dandy screwdriver, pop this rad hose off, and try not to get fucking soaked with this gross old fucking shit. Hopefully that's not a rad leak right there. Might be in your radiator. Hey, wait a minute, is there a plug over there? There's a plug, I could just drain it with that plug. Let's use that. Sounds like a better idea. Oh. Got it. There we go, right into the snow shovel. Fuck yeah. Oh, let's go to the cross member. There we go. Don't go in the cross member. Gonna spend a couple minutes just lubricating everything, because you know nothing's going apart in a long time. This rotor doesn't look too bad, and the cap looks nice as well, so that won't have to be replaced right now, so that's good.
If there's any sign of corrosion or increased gap from arcing of the spark on the contacts of the cap or rotor, then the cap and rotor should be replaced.
There we go. The struggles. The struggle is real. All right. Ow. Rolling over my nuts. All right. I'm gonna go grab some tools. Let's get some shit removed here. Coolant line on top of the water pump. The lines don't look as bad as could be worse.
If the coolant lines are showing signs of cracking or hardening or swelling, then it's a good idea to replace them while you have them off if you have a chance.
I hope that one has enough length to stick down there, otherwise it'll get replaced. This one, I may want to be replacing these. Yeah, I'm probably going to replace these two lines while I'm at it. This rad hose doesn't feel too bad. Oh, they definitely crammed that fucking, crank that fucker on. Gotta try not to moan and groan as much while I'm recording. Oh, fuck. Wrong. Okay, 9/16. It's probably metric though. There we go. Get this out of the way. Oh, that'll free up some room to work and throw that up on the alternator. Whew. Yeah, we're gonna replace this thermostat because it had some issues with heating, overheating I should say. It was heating just fine. Gonna be cleaning this engine up, giving the old redneck rebuild with a spray can, spray bomber up. Might replace all these shitty lines as well. After they're off, I might as well replace them because sure don't look that great. Yeah, probably gonna replace that one. Ah, shoot. Well, that looks broken. I don't know if that really matters. Might be able to get a tack weld fix. Oh yeah, it's not gonna matter. I get coolant coming out of that part. I have to hose that down so the kitties don't get at it. Drop the clutch on that one. Yeah, there we go. Oh, just kind of spins it away. Alright, so now I took off, unbolted the power steering pump. Don't have too many more bolts to undo, and this front cover should come off. Now I got it nice and clean too, so when I do take the front cover off, it won't like dump a bunch of crap in the open oil pan there. Because balancer off the crank soon too.
Well, I probably should have loosened this before I took the belts off and all the accessories, but good thing I seen this TikTok life hack here where you take the belt and you take a wrench and you could wrap it around and make its own little strap wrench here. And then I should be able to loosen the crank nut just like this. And let's give her a try here. Hold belt, strap wrench, let's go. Come on. TikTok showed me this, so should work just fine. It's a life hack. Damn you, TikTok. Alright, maybe that's not a life hack. I'll show you a life hack that does work. I just need to get a measuring device and measure if I have enough space to get a gun in here. The measuring device says no room. Oh, jeez. I need to remove this rod to get a gun in there. Here we go. This should be quick. Ah, Jesus, not already. I should have known.
Let's see what type of fuckery is happening there. This cooler looks like it's deleted. What the fuck?
Just a few quick bolts and then I'll pull this rod and be out of the way.
Not really sure why that one would be a different size than this one, but yeah. Oh, that one's probably gonna be a different size when I'm done too. Oh, I'll put those there so I can lose them.
Alright, there we go, rat's pulled. Got this far, we might as well just pull the engine, paint it up, and rebuild her.
What the hell is this fuckery? This line was not hooked up to anything. Hopefully it goes better than the last time. Oh yeah, it fits. Oh, fuck yeah. Nailed it. Came off like nothing. Steering wheel puller here. I bought this to pull steering wheels and using it to pull the harmonic balancer. I want to make sure it's got a good amount of threads on these bolts to bite. And I put the big crank bolt on there. Well, I loosened the harmonic balancer bolt and that gives me somewhere to push off of with this puller. Or pull. There we go. Got her. Nailed it. Oop. Not gonna kill the neighborhood cats. Who would have expected that? Trusty old snow shovel. When removing the timing chain cover, don't forget these little bolts for the oil pan, because obviously the cover will come off with these bolts in it. There you go. You're not supposed to pry it off, but just a little help with the pry bar goes a long way. Not pry, but just a little help. Oh yeah. Look at that. That thing is fucked.
Chrysler's spec for this is no more than 1/8 of an inch. And I've got about 1/2 of an inch, so that's 4 times the maximum allowable play.
So obviously this timing chain is severely worn and needs to be replaced. Now, you can replace the timing chain with the engine in the vehicle relatively easily, especially when you're at this point. But I'm going to be pulling this engine out and giving it a good overhaul. So if you want to learn something, subscribe. Ah, shit. Professional move. Drop the socket that you need. Tip to self. Don't do that. Oh, I'll put these over here so I can lose them.
That's gonna want to kick out.
Oh yeah. It might be heavy because it's not a Hyundai, right? Oh, I didn't chop my head or hand off yet. Whew. Watch out for the stick. Go over the. There we go. All right. Oh. Hold it so it doesn't drop on my face. Oh yeah. Still got one more bolt so it wouldn't drop on my face. Nice. Had to pull this out. Now this pump, I'm gonna kind of put it over
with
there.
The AC
gotta find a way that
you
it
keep
sits
everything
nice.
connected, and then you just be careful with it and set it to the side. That way you don't have to drain it or recharge it.
I guess I could just flop it over for now. I need to get some cardboard or something. Be careful with that though, because it's really, it's brittle, that thing. It's like, get rid of the super complicated 1986 wiring harness. I don't know how I'll ever be able to figure out where all these plugs go. Just kidding. 1986. Just like no plugs. A couple whites, a couple browns. 2 horns on this thing. Yeah, that'll get people out of the way. This is back in the day where they didn't give a fuck about, you know, spare no expense, eh? This one was fully loaded. I bet you the base model came with 1 horn, eh? Peel this back. Oh yeah. I think it's free now. All right.
Seems heavy.
Watch out for the fender. There's really only a few more things I need to get rid of here. CGR's gotta go. Few bolts over in the back. Engines will be disconnected from the back. These are the worst ones. I always hate the back top L housing bolts. There's only a couple of them though. Not as many on these things as on the semi trucks.
Maybe not take the engine off.
Not take the engine off. So I'm just only 4 bolts I gotta get, so I gotta put them in a position where I can get them. I turn the engine over. Okay. So close. Ugh. Where's my gun? There we go. That should be free. Yeah. Only 4 bolts holding that. That's it. These 4 little bolts all that drives the vehicle. Use that bell housing bolt. I was just getting last one on this side, the last bell house. Wow, that escalated quickly, didn't it? I already got the whole front end of this darn truck apart and the engine just dangling there. Well, if you guys enjoyed that, smash the like button.
Okay.
If you want to see me overhaul this darn thing, then subscribe. And subscribe for more truck stuff.